Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Podcast, the Wrestling Corner episode 15. With me, your host Rowan and my co-host Simon. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, a lot
Good,
of
good.
wrestling, but I've
Lot of
enjoyed it.
wrestling. It's been decent wrestling this
A
week.
nice, quick pay-per-view. Nice sort of change of pace from WrestleMania. I like the 5 weeks off. Yeah,
It's enjoyable. It doesn't seem as clustered, which is a very nice change.
It's 5 weeks until Backlash, then it's 5 weeks until Extreme Rules, and then 5 weeks until SummerSlam. So they're really spreading them out.
Well, in fairness, they can't have the consistent pay-per-views like they normally do, because people would the viewers have already dropped already. I think if they had more and more pay-per-views, they would be struggling heavy.
Yeah.
But like as always, we will just go straight into things with AEW. So the show started off with Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare Cody versus the bad boy Joey Janela. If you want to talk through this match.
Right. I can't. I was watching Dynamite in a bit of a rush, so I don't remember too much about this. This was just. It was a classic sort of Cody singles match. It was back and forth. Janela gets a lot of stuff in. Cody gets his stuff in. Go about 15 minutes, and then I think there was only one Crossroads.
Yeah, let's say one Crossroads finished him, which is so strange.
It should be the case, but then why did Sean Spears who kicked out of 2?
Spears kicked out of 2. Darby Allin kicked out of 2 maybe as well.
See, I'm all right with Darby doing it, but it was just Spears. Spears threw me off. But yeah, good Cody match.
Mm-hmm.
In his words, it sort of keeps him fine-tuned, ready for Lance Archer at Double or Nothing.
Or Nothing. Also, I'm pretty confident he's got his Rhodes name back, doesn't he? I think he's won it. Not won it off WWE, but
not quite.
I thought he could use it, but he's not. He's sticking with Cody.
I thought he was still in the process of trying to get it.
It might still be the process.
It should be said though, before this happened, before we go on, this was the live Dynamite, and they say that they did all the testing and stuff before people came in, but I don't know, you're still flying out JR, you're still flying out Jake Roberts, so we can't get on at WWE.
No. I was
going to say, although AEW will do it far more sort of, I imagine, carefully, and they take far more care over the performance.
I don't want to say more clarity, but Tony Khan has tweeted a lot about what they've done to sort it, whereas WWE haven't. But the problem with AEW is you are flying out JR. Like, WWE has stopped flying out the King, and that's why Samoa Joe's replaced him. I don't think it's just for the coronavirus thing. I do think because Joe is better. But I think you can't fly out JR. You can't fly out Jake the Snake. You can't fly out these old guys and put them at risk.
Yeah, Tony Khan's very transparent about it, and he's very good with his communication on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I can well imagine that they'll try and minimize the risk as much as possible, whereas WWE would just fly people out. Do you know what I mean? I
know what you mean. Yeah,
I can just imagine AEW with more regard for the health and welfare of the talent, and obviously if. I know WWE say if you don't want to work, you don't have to work, but I genuinely believe that's the case in AEW. Hence why the Bucks and Page haven't been seen.
Yeah, no. Have you before we move on? Have you seen Being the Elite? It's just Hangman Page living in the woods. He has been one of the highlights of coronavirus because on Being the Elite, because he's obviously not on the shows, he's just been pissing around.
Right.
Doing things like he did the Dynamite entrance in a wood. If you can watch, I just say it's just him having fun, like early Being the Elite, where he'd have these stupid skits when he was killing Joey Ryan. It's very similar to that, like making me. It's never laugh out loud, but it's making me chuckle. Yeah. But we'll move on to the first women's match, and Nyla Rose is back on the show against Kenzie Page, squash match.
Kenzie Page is what, 18?
Is she? Jesus.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Fair enough to her, but yeah, easy squash match.
This was what it needed to be. It was just Nyla Rose, big dominant champion.
Remind people of her, because she hasn't been on the show in a while in terms of wrestling capacity.
I can imagine a lot of people have forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sort of about because they've not really put like any video packages and stuff or anything.
It might have been just a 2-minute Twitter video, like nothing much.
But she had an interview with Siobhan, and she basically did what The Rock does, where she asked him a question about who's the most dominant, and then just cut him off. Which was all right, I guess. But I mean, Tony Schiavone was probably going to say that she was the most dominant anyway.
Yeah, she didn't have to say it, but she did.
It doesn't matter. It was fine.
It doesn't matter. Then we did have an MJF little promo just saying the most cockiest thing I've got to hear. After being on national television for only 5 to 6 months, I'm the guy. People comparing me to the legends like Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. Every guy in this sport is insecure of this 24-year-old kid who's going to be champion in the blink of an eye. Newsflash, this 24-year-old kid is a man. That's why I can afford to sit back, miss a few weeks, and watch him wrestling because my throne will be here where I left it without a scratch. And next week, I sit back on my throne.
MJF is the best. Like
he's so good.
He's not done anything wrong in AEW. Every single thing he's done has been perfect.
He's a despisable prick, but that's what you want from your biggest heel.
Yeah, but I like him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and obviously, like his Twitter game is just so funny.
Oh, it's someone where he's charging $500 on his cameo just to insult people, and people are paying for it. And it's just them going, why are you paying these $500, you low life? It's a simple character as well. If you think about it,
just makes the most dislikable man imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
It's so simple, but so
it is effective. Yeah. I had a Sean Spears vignette.
Oh, so I don't have these vignettes on what I'm looking at. I don't even remember a Sean Spears vignette.
It's just him saying about you could have stopped the onslaught against Lance Archer for your brother. And then we did have an actual ringside interview with MJF with Wardlow and Sean Spears. Just basically MJF calling out Cody. And then Schiavone basically said he heard from Tony Khan that, and it's breaking news, that it's going to be MJF versus Jungle Boy double or nothing. Double or nothing. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Who I'm guessing MJF picks up the win
against Jungle. But wait, he's got a match on Dynamite. Are you on about a double or nothing?
Double or nothing. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, MJF wins.
Yeah. After this, we did have John Moxley versus SCU's Francis Kazarian.
Yeah. I really didn't like this.
There's something I don't know. There's something about SCU where even though they're both single player guys, single solo wrestlers, I don't know why, but their individual matches never get me. I loved the tag team matches. Like when Scorpio Sky was getting all this hype around him, it was in a tag team match still. Even though he had a couple of singles, I was never enamored by the singles. I was enamored by the tag team matches. Yeah. And I think these guys are just a great tag team. And maybe it was just the match worked for me.
I completely get it, and I agree. Like, I'm not particularly bothered about SCU anyway, but when it comes to singles, it's not for me. But I think not the problem, but Mox now. Look, Mox is either on it, and when he's on it, he is like top of his game, or it just feels really flat. And this was just like, it was just headlocks and like, I don't know. Should Frankie Kazarian, with his first singles match in AEW, be taking the champion to a 15-minute match? Like, no. I don't know. It's all right. Me coming on here and saying I really like what Cody does, where he has a 15-minute match, wins, but his opponent gets elevated.
If anything, that's what this match did.
This is pretty much the exact same thing, just Mox is in Cody's role. But I came away from it feeling like neither of them had gained anything.
Benefit, yeah.
Like, especially after the match against Hager, Mox is in need of an absolute classic.
And unfortunately, we'll talk about what happened after. After the ending, Dark Order stormed the ring and basically mauled Moxley. Daniels and Scorpio Sky sprinted from the back to try to save him, but the Dark Order basically attacked them. Brody Lee came out and hit Daniels with a chair and basically hit Moxley with a lariat. Just cut a whole promo basically. You had the crown jewel of professional wrestling. This is my challenge. Answer my challenge, Mox, or I will make you. Through the microphone, and then Moxley just said, "Dude, all you had to do was ask." Moxley was on his knees laughing as he was all in one. Brody Lee decimated him with a running boot. As the minions kept starting Mox, Brody Lee walked away, taking the championship with him. Now, obviously, the Double or Nothing card's shaping up now that you've got the TNT final, which is Cody Lance Archer, MJF Jungle Boy, Moxley Lee, and the Casino ladder match, who've already got 2 members announced, which is Darby Allin and Colt Cabana. Do you think? How do they make this match a bit different from the other ones? Because you can't have the babyface trying to defeat the big evil guy, because you've got that with Cody Lance Archer. You can't just have a simple heel babyface. I think MJF Jungle Boy will do that more. Like, do you make this just?
How are they going to do the ladder match?
No, the Moxley Lee match. How do you make it so it's actually people will tune in for it? Because for me, I'm not interested in a Moxley Lee feud.
No, that's to be honest. I'm not particularly enthused by it either, and I don't know why. Because both men have had an absolute new lease of life since coming to AEW. But I don't know, something in clicking. How do I think they should do the match?
Yeah. In terms of, do you just book it as a typical match, or do you have an angle or a swerve that sort of saves it?
If it was WWE, they'd just have Brody Lee take 90% of the match. Mox hits a quick paradigm shift to get the win.
Mm-hmm.
But AEW will book themselves out of the corner, and I've got complete faith that they'll make it a really good match. But then again, we've not seen an AEW pay-per-view behind closed doors, and no, it helps for everyone. But if there's one guy in particular that needs to feed off the energy of the crowd, it's Jon Moxley.
Mm-hmm. There've been wrestlers who don't need it in AEW, and I think Moxley's probably the biggest one. Maybe by the Young Bucks, but I don't even think that.
Mox needs it more. Mox feeds off it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell. Like, look how alive he was at Double or Nothing. Look how alive he was when he beat Jericho for the title. Look at him when he makes his entrance and he gets all that hype from the crowd. Yeah.
I think it's just very unfortunate time. They won't make him drop the belt because they'll want him to have the belt when they go back to live crowds, which could be a very long time from now.
Yeah, it's a case of will they keep it on him until we get back to live crowds? Because I'm not quite sure.
I think he'll be the first ever 2-time champion, personally, anyway.
Unless Lance Archer just dominates with the TNT title, I'd have thought Lance will be coming for it sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So Cody can't go for the main belt, can he? No, because he lost the match.
No, never again. And Cody's reiterated that he's going to stick to that.
Maybe Cody wins, but Tony Khan goes like, Lance, you got to the final, you've had this opportunity. If you can beat this other person, you get a title match against Moxley. Lance Archer beats Moxley. Moxley don't go away, but sort of as a redemption angle until you can get a live crowd boom and get the big pop. For when he runs out, tries to get the title back, possibly. I'm just trying to find a way how they could book themselves around it.
I don't know, but I'm not a wrestling booker.
No,
they'll
there's a reason why. Yeah,
they've chosen Brody Lee for this feud. It's not like we thought. Like WWE booked themselves into a corner with Braun versus Bray, but they kind of had no one else available. Yeah. With here. Do you know what I mean? They've clearly got an idea, otherwise they wouldn't have done it.
No.
So it doesn't feel like it's just booking on the fly. Yeah.
No. But after this, we did have a vignette of Brandy Rose responding to Jake the Snake. Really enjoyed it. There's something. If you remember in WWE, she was a good announcer, and the vignettes that got leaked when Cody was trying to bring this new character into WWE before he left, there was something about Brandy was quite exciting, and I do enjoy her promos. There's something interesting with it. Obviously, it weren't her day though, because after Lance Archer decimated QT Marshall, Britt Baker attacked Brandy Rhodes from behind, knocked out, left prone in the ring, and Jake Snake came down with the snake, placed it on Brandy, and while Archer and Roberts laughed, sort of playing mind games with Cody.
Jake Roberts did some air humping and then stood on the snake.
Yeah.
Well done, Jake.
Well done, Jake.
It wasn't unsettling, but it did make me think, should we really be doing this?
No, but I like to see the snake. It was fun.
The wrestling match was all right.
The snake was better.
I really like Lance Archer's theme, and I really like the fact that he just clobbers someone at ringside.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who it's going to be.
No.
I do look forward to that bit every time. The match you'd expect. Yeah.
Then the match was announced for Double or Nothing, Moxley versus Brody Lee. We had a little backstage segment between Darby Allin and Taz. Taz said he'd love to help Darby professionally. Darby pushed the microphone away and stormed off. But we did go on to the main event, Le Sex Gods, which was Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
They've got merch.
They've got merch.
They've
and
got
Matt Hardy. Wait, hold up. This was Matt Hardy's AEW in-ring debut.
Yes, it was.
I did not realise that.
Excalibur said it.
Jesus. I thought he'd already wrestled for some reason.
No,
of course.
No.
I'll let you talk through the match.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. Like Jericho, he's on top form. I love Sammy Guevara. And then Omega and Hardy, like they're the Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy. Do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna get a
unlikely partnership.
Right. Where did we start here? So it sort of started off in the. Wait, did you watch it on Fight TV?
No, I've just seen highlights on YouTube.
Right. So between the entrances, because Inner Circle had entered, or Sex Gods had entered, and then it cut to ad break, and like what Jericho and Guevara just do around ring aside. They're so funny because like Sammy Guevara's got his cards out, and he's saying like "hit me up" in all the different languages of the world. Yeah. So the match started in the ring, and it was just pretty standard street fight stuff. It was just a means to get to where we needed to go, which was what do they call it? The tail, it's the concourse over here, but what is it over there?
I don't have a clue.
Right, the bit where the Shield make their entrance from. There you go.
Oh, the entrance.
Is it just the entrance to Daly's place?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I didn't know what the word was.
One thing I really enjoyed about this match. Sorry, just to cut you off. I like that it started at Daly's place, but they made their way into the Jags Stadium, and I loved it was the shot of where I've currently got it open. I'm just watching it now as you talk through. It's where Matt Hardy comes out of the ice box. I've just seen that, and it's a shot of Kenny, Matt Hardy, and Jericho, and you can just see the Jags Stadium in the background, and for me it looked so good.
Yeah. So what you're on about then was Matt Hardy introduces a ladder. Then he put Guevara through a table. Jake Hager showed up. Got involved. Then Inner Circle came back on top, and then it got good because, I mean, it was always good. But Matt Hardy sent Chris Jericho into like an ice box, like an ice machine.
Yep.
Jericho comes back out, hits Matt Hardy in the face with a bag of ice, throws Hardy in. That's the last we see of Hardy for a while. Before he returns as did he return as V1 Matt Hardy or something? I don't know. No, he came back as Damascus.
Damascus, yeah, they said he returned as a previous incarnation.
Yeah. Omega hit Hager with a trash can. Guevara got powerbombed into a garage door, which looked like a rough bump, and then Chris Jericho hit him with a golf cart. Of course he did. And then we just said Damascus emerged from the ice. Oh, right. The one thing. No, actually, I'll wait until I finish this until I bring it up.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, then Matt Hardy got in the golf cart, hit Jericho, and then the absolute highlight of the night.
Please, is it the Sammy bump?
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, that is one of the best bumps in the year.
It's the shot of Guevara like looking back and running, scared for his life. Everyone cheering him on. Hardy and Kenny in the golf cart. Kenny just pointing at him. And like as the golf cart gets closer, it's just that moment when Guevara realizes, like, oh, I'm just gonna have to take the bump, and it's such a good bump. Like he jumped, just
perfect timing.
As soon as the cart hits him, he just jumps up a little bit, and that just allows his body to just fly.
Thing is, we know he's fine. It's very clearly, like, you see, he very clearly just gets his hands up and he pushes himself off. But the timing is so perfect that it just looks like he's been absolutely decimated. Was that were the rest we saw of Sammy Ware?
That might have been it. Omega then, as if it wasn't enough. We had like a big, not like a forklift, but like I don't quite know how to word it. But basically, Kenny Omega went up on a piece of machinery.
It was a lift. What's it called? It's got a name, not a caterpillar. Scissor lift.
Scissor lift. He went really high, hit a big moonsault onto the inner circle. But then Santana and Ortiz stopped Jericho from being hit with a one-winged angel on the concrete of the concourse. Jericho power bombs Kenny Omega on top of the golf cart, because of course he does. And then, after everything I've mentioned in this match, the most devastating move of them all put Kenny Omega away. Yes, it was the Judas effect.
The best move in all of wrestling.
It's so funny. Like, it's just an elbow.
Does he do what? He does have a golf cart, doesn't he? Oh no, he does. I've just seen the powerbomb. I'm just trying to see where he actually hits it. He doesn't. He doesn't even do anything special. He just hits it on a concrete.
Yeah, what I was gonna say. Whenever I watch any wrestling match, the thing that's running through my head is, how would I describe this? If I was describing this, would it make sense, or would it be appealing to someone who knows nothing about wrestling? I think this is, because it is so silly beyond belief.
But it's entertaining.
It's just
something you don't get.
It's just funny. Like, I just watched it with the biggest smile on my face, and then like I'd already seen most of it on like social media, because I watched it at about 7:00 Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so good.
I think
it was wild. It was chaotic. It was just like, wrestling's in a period at the moment where because you can't really put on 5-star classics, the wackiest matches are the best ones.
Yeah, and this is definitely one.
It was creative. It was fun. Like, there were lots of just like laugh out loud moments.
None of them look weak from it as well.
No, like Matt Hardy lost his first match in AEW, and no one's bothered because it was so fun, and it wasn't a proper match. It was it was mental. Yeah,
I did like the closing shot of the inner circle just sticking the fingers up with the cameras on the TIA Bankfield big screen. It just said in a circle like it was graffitied. I quite like
that. That was like that for me just topped off the silliness, because you've got them giving it the big pose at the end, and then you've got the like inner circle comes on the screen in the stadium, and it's like, in kayfabe,
with dick swings underneath as well.
They wouldn't have known that the match was going to end there. How has somebody gone into the stadium and put up the inner circle logo?
I'd like to imagine that they've hired a little goon who can just run around doing graffiti, but in terms of like digital ones. So he's there like running to all these different locations trying to put graffiti up, and then they're just taking it to somewhere completely different.
It's so fantastically silly.
Yeah, it was good.
And another thing that I sort of question when I watch these things is if it was WWE, would I like it? And the answer's yes. Yes. Like, I mean, I enjoyed Money in the Bank. I imagine you did.
Yes, I loved Money in the Bank. It was good.
Yeah. So it was a really, really good episode of Dynamite.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it 4.5. Do you give it a 5?
Yeah, no. 4.5. It lacked that one big, killer sort of, not shock, but it was a very solid wrestling show that would have been like a 4, but the Street Fight pushed it up. Kazarian versus Mox, just not the 5.
No. One thing I did last night, I got bored, so I started watching Waterworld, the live show at Disneyland, and I was like, and I watched Frankie Kazarian. Is it Frankie? It's Christopher Daniels. I watched
No,
Christopher
I have
Daniels in
not.
it. It's really, if you can watch it, it's the Waterworld show at Universal, and people have uploaded the live shows of it, and it's really entertaining.
No.
Because I knew you were in it, I was like, oh, I might as well give it a watch. Very entertaining, but we will go
Yeah, I
on
was
to.
gonna say, the
Oh, I
show
go.
it built a little bit to Double or Nothing. We've got what
Mhm.
two more Dynamites. How many matches do you reckon the card will have?
Five probably. I think we'll have one more women's
Oh, you
match.
reckon it'll be like a takeover? Well, it's got to be a women's match.
Yeah, I think it'll be Nyla versus Statlander
Uh,
versus Britt
I
Baker or
think
something.
it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll be Nyla versus. Yeah,
I think
probably
we'll see a
Britt.
title change, and I think it's going to give it. That'll go to Britt Baker.
Oh, do you reckon? No,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Nah, you can't have Britt get beat. I hope maybe Penelope Ford flukes a win and then she can take a loss. But I really
Maybe.
like Penelope Ford, so
Same.
I kind of hope she doesn't get beat on pay per view.
Yeah, but we will move on to
Yeah.
NXT now, where the show started off with Johnny Gargano defeating Dominic Dijakovic. I don't care about the match. It was a Gargano win. The problem was he's got rid of Rebel Heart. One of my favourite themes in WWE. It sounds exactly like a Paramore song, and they've just got rid of it to give
Yeah,
him.
but
I understand
you
why.
can't beat Rebel Heart.
I would have loved it if they didn't though. And he kept it. He came out like he was still the old Johnny Gargano.
Yeah,
Because
I
Rebel Heart
mean,
is a
what
banger of a theme. I'm not
we'll come on to it more. But what's your take? What do you think of Seth Rollins' new music?
like it if it's his gimmick, especially after Money in the Bank.
You think when the Messiah things are over and done with, he will return? He'll bring back the second
Yeah.
coming.
Because imagine when he comes. Let's say he keeps his character for 4 months, then he goes away. He comes back in a year or two, and you just hear that burn
Yeah,
it down.
it'd be a good. It'd get a loud reaction if he ever went
Mhm.
away. Well, will he have to go? He'll have to go away on paternity leave, surely.
Yeah,
He's not going to be on the road whilst his kid grows up.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Pro-
it'll go in
Providing
like
he's the father. I mean, it's not been confirmed.
it has not been confirmed. I'm guessing he is because WWE did tweet out, and it'd just be awkward if it wasn't. I'm guessing he'll still be wrestling. I think it'd be better for him if he didn't, but I'm
No,
surprised for another 7
I,
months.
I can see him taking like 9 months off. Like you wouldn't want to wrestle. Like
No, I think what he'll do is he'll wait until Becky's further on and then
right. Oh, so you
leave.
think when Becky comes back, he'll go?
No, in terms not when when in a pregnancy when she's like 8 months on, 7 months on, that's when he goes. He goes be a father for a year.
Oh,
Same with
right.
Becky, and then they come back after. One of them comes back after a year,
Yeah.
more
Yeah. Fair enough.
likely. Set. But yeah, we'll go back to Gargano Dijakovic. Right result is Gargano's. Was it his first NXT match after turning heel? Not after turning heel, but after Candice and new theme and stuff. Correct result. Dijakovic can eat a loss.
Can he though? He's eaten a lot of losses. He doesn't win very many.
But he still feels like a guy who should be this not forced to be reckoned with, but when you know you're in a match with him, it's not like, oh, easy win. It's like, oh, okay, he could actually beat this guy. Whereas I think other people couldn't. But we'll
Yeah,
go on to
I'd like to see him pick up a bit. I mean, I don't know how strong he looked in the match, but I'd like to see him.
It looked all right, but it was a kind of Gargano match where he's obviously going to be the best. After this, we did have Akira Tozawa defeating Jack Gallagher in an interim NXT Cruiserweight title. So Akira Tozawa is 2-0 now. So I'm guessing the final's going to be Kushida Akira Tozawa. It's looking like.
You don't think Drake Maverick will pull it out the bag?
Well, Maverick's already
Drake
eaten a
Maverick's
lot.
got to get to the final.
Well, so Maverick's 1-1, which means he's got to beat.
He's got to beat Kushida. Oh no.
He's got to beat Kushida, but then they'll both be on 2-1. Like, how would that work?
I'd beat the clock challenge.
Please, I think they'll just put Kushida in.
As
much as Trey Maverick is good.
2-1. If they're both 2-1, you can't just say put Kushida.
No, sorry, I meant I don't think Maverick will win.
All right, okay.
I think it's that this week as well.
It's got to be. That would be very underwhelming if that's the case.
It would, but
But I know what you mean. I can't see him putting Maverick over Kushida.
No. After this, we did have Chelsea Green defeating Xylee. So the match happened easy. Afterwards, Robert Stone basically offered his hand to Alia, begging the question, like basically saying, "Do you want to work together?" In more like an official capacity. Nothing came of that. After this, though, we had one of my favourite debuts of the past 2 years.
Right, I
Karrion
have watched the
Kross.
entrance for this.
I'm about to say, have you watched the entrance?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, but then it was getting so much attention.
Everything was right about this. Him just looking scary, looking like this big, dirty man. And Scarlett Bordeaux just...
quite clean.
So Scarlett... You know what I mean, though? Like, he
just
looks vicious.
Yeah. Solid.
And then Scarlett... I want to say Scarlett Bordeaux, but she's not. Scarlett accompanying him. Like, for me, it was perfect. This is what his character should be. Imagine if that is his entrance every single time. Add that to a takeover crowd as well. Oh,
do you want it to be his entrance every time though? Will the novelty not wear off?
maybe, but then you can't just have him come out to a theme and that's it.
Think about how buzzing everyone was to hear Bobby Roode's theme, Nakamura's theme. Like,
maybe, yeah.
I hope they don't do it every time.
Maybe only for special occasions.
Yeah,
but I did like it.
Well, with the lip syncing, and then it goes on black and white, and then it goes to like sort of golden smoke and stuff, and then when the music stops and they're both just there, center of the ring, like you look at them and think, like, wow, like star quality. But it's interesting because I went on. Because I watched it on BT Sport's YouTube channel, and on BT Sport upload lots of non-wrestling content as well. So obviously there was a few non-wrestling fans who watched it, and I looked in the comments section, and every single wrestling fan was like, "Oh my days, how awesome! How great is this?" All of the non-wrestling fans, everyone thought there were quite a few people who thought it was cringe.
If you showed a non-wrestling fan a wrestling match, like we would class as great, like the street fight, that's cringe. Why is he?
Yeah, wrestling. It's not cringe because it is wrestling. If you know what I mean.
If you're a wrestling fan, you don't find it cringe. Like there's probably tons of stuff that people like. I find like BT Sport panel shows like cringe, but probably football fans, like better football fans, probably don't find it as cringe as I do. And it just works either way.
It's just the whole thing. Like, it just baffles me how people don't realise wrestling is about the show and the spectacle and the circumstance, and not the legitimacy.
It's the thing that will always come up, but 99% of wrestling fans know it's fake, but it's the same as watching a TV show.
Well, you must have seen the stuff about that Tom Segura stuff.
The comedian.
That was bad. Like, and I don't get like the people saying, like, if you're saying how stupid he is, then you're a part of the joke. And maybe it's just me, but like that's not a joke. Like, it's not a joke. It's not funny.
I didn't get it. Like, if it was supposed to be a joke, fair play. It's not my style, but
and then he went back on it and said like wrestling's great and stuff, but
that was just a way to try to save his ass.
I was not very happy watching that. It just wound me up.
Nah, but we'll move on from that. Where we did have Io Shirai getting a chance at Charlotte Flair, and she did defeat her, but by disqualification. So basically, it was actually quite a decent match, and then Charlotte Flair resorted to a disqualification, hitting Io Shirai with a kendo stick, just basically thwacking her. Rhea Ripley came out, made a return for, I think she'd been off TV for a month, maybe. But Rhea Ripley made a return, attacking, trying to sort of shooing Charlotte off. But Ripley sort of made an end with Io Shirai to exchange heated words and later got into a shoving match in the parking lot area. Now, it's a waste of that ladder match that we had because it's ended in disqualification. But it's gained another feud in the women's division, Charlotte, so Charlotte can go work with someone else. So now you've got Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley, I suppose.
Maybe I don't. I know nothing about what's happened here.
Basically, Charlotte caused a DQ, so Io's title shot is basically gone. Rhea Ripley returned, but then Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley had a bit of beef.
It doesn't sound too great.
It wasn't amazing, but it was everything that needed to be. Rhea gets a return. You've got a women's feud on NXT now. That's not for the title. Nah. I just don't know where Charlotte goes from this. But what can you ask for? But we'll skim past that. Kushida defeating Jake Atlas in the Group A match. Obviously putting Kushida 2-0 now. So we talked about it earlier, but it's looking more likely Tozawa versus Kushida, which could be a great singles match. It really could.
I'm just going to go for a second. NXT.
Yeah, I'll just keep on talking. Yeah. After this, Cameron Grimes defeated Denzel Dejanot. I mean, I talked about him last week, saying he's been pretty decent. Again, another good squash match. He actually calls out Finn Balor in this. Finn Balor comes out. Balor gets the better of the exchange and sends a message to his mystery assailant. Yeah. What more can you ask? It's Cameron Grimes and Finn Balor on the TV show. Great. We did have the main event, though, which was NXT champion Adam Cole defeating the Velveteen Dream. Obviously, this match had been hyped up for ages. I swear it's been in the works for 2 months nearly. We finally get it. Adam Cole picking up the win. Great result, because I think Dream not has lost momentum, but really has lost that thing that made him alluring. I like him maybe to go away for a bit and come back with not a new character, I still think it should be Dream, but maybe a new lease of life, like sort of a more reflective side of him. Possibly, I just want him to have a change of character. But the boy, Dave Loomis, talk about him every week. His appearance today, so the match is happening in the ring. Fish and Strong are outside, and then Dexter Loomis just crawls from underneath the ring, attacks Fish and Strong from getting involved. Loomis sends Strong flying into the referee, leaving him unable to count Dream's pin after he hit the Purple Rainmaker. Cole basically recovered immediately, super kick, last shot, and wins. I was saying it's a correct result for me. Cole deserves champion. I think Dream needs to go away for a bit, possibly. Try not reinvent himself, but come back with a new lease of life, because he's been in this feud for a while.
Let's just talk about new lease of life isn't in prison.
Yeah, I know. Well, was it a hoax? Not a hoax, but was it fake?
I think it's still being investigated. Not sure.
Don't do this, Patrick. You're great. You're a great wrestler.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, great result.
I mean, Del Rio got himself in trouble, but Del Rio doesn't have the same future.
Del Rio, what has happened to the man?
Yeah, he's fallen apart a bit, hasn't he?
What a dickwad. I think I'll say dickwad, aren't I? Well, I said it now, so... we did also get the Imperium attacking Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Forgot about that, but who cares?
Well, I really like the new Liberal segment from last week. I know we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
That made me laugh.
But NXT, it was okay. Again, we always say that it was okay.
I'm an AEW mark.
You are.
So he says wearing his Adam Cole hoodie, but yeah.
I'm not actually wearing anything wrestling related. But it was a meh episode. It wasn't boring. No, I'm not gonna say it was meh. It was a 3.5. It was just a bit better than average. Like the Karrion Kross debut bumped it up for me.
Yeah.
Right, but we'll just have before we move on to that, we'll just have a quick word about the Athletic. There we go. The Athletic is the new home of football writing. They do so many amazing articles on football, so Premier League, EFL, European football, Champions League, women's football. But it's not just football they do if you're not interested in that. They've got NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, MMA, boxing, motorsports, MLS, and golf. So many things. There's a couple of articles on sports business as well. You know what? We'll click on motorsports because obviously there's sort of breaking news from motorsport news today that Sebastian Vettel's not resigning his thing. But this is a lot of American things. So NASCAR, if you're interested in that. Oops, I've clicked off the PowerPoint. But this stuff with NASCAR, with many motorsports. So if you're interested in motorsports, we'll give a shine on that. Go to The Athletic. But if you go on there, use the link theathletic.co.uk/sportscorner, you can get 50% off your annual subscription. And there's also currently a 7-day free trial. So use the link theathletic.co.uk/thesportscorner. Boom. But we will go on to SmackDown now. Obviously, it was a go-home show before Money in the Bank, so we'll just skip through SmackDown so we can get to the juicy Money in the Bank. Sonya Deville defeated Mandy Rose in very quick fashion. Sonya Deville is really elevating herself currently now.
I can acknowledge that she's probably the best she's ever been, but I am not bothered. So I'll let you talk.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Great result. Sonya looks good. The Miz and John Morrison and the Forgotten Sons defeated the New Day and the Lucha House Party in a tag team match. It's the typical when there's a multi-man match at a Mania.
It was proper just go home stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Again, talk about go home stuff. Tamina and Lacey defeated Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
not much to say.
Wait, are you going in order here?
Yes, this is the order I've got here. I think. I've missed some promo stuff. So we had
teasing
Braun.
Jeff Hardy just battering Sheamus.
Yes, Jeff Hardy made his in-ring return and just absolutely not decimated Sheamus, but dispatched Sheamus easily.
Sheamus should have destroyed him. It should have. Really annoyed me. They did this the wrong way around.
They did. I mean, when we talk about really skimming through SmackDown, we're at the main event now, which was King Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro defeating Otis, Daniel Bryan, and Gulak. Again, it's pretty typical tag team match, and then very typical of one of the guys gets on the ladder, goes up and gets the briefcase.
I mean, yeah, once Corbin had it, you kind of knew he wasn't going to win, although part of me was still thinking. Although after I'd sent in my picks, I did instantly regret picking Styles and Baszler.
I didn't. I was still confident with my picks.
I mean, I wouldn't have gone for Otis.
I wouldn't have gone for... I mean, that was SmackDown. Not really. It was
a show that happened. Yeah.
We'll go straight on to Money in the Bank. So the show opened up with in the kickoff match with Jeff Hardy defeating Cesaro. Now this is a match that should have been on SmackDown in terms of Cesaro is the perfect person to put in the first match, sort of his first big match back, because he always elevates the person he wrestles against and he makes it a fun match, and that's what happened there.
This might have been one of the best kickoff show matches ever.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not like that.
Cesaro, like,
yeah, it was really, really. It was a good wrestling match between two good wrestlers. You know what I mean? It was exactly what you expected.
Yeah,
and it lived up to it.
But then we did have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, obviously. So the New Day versus Miz and Morrison versus Lucha House Party versus the Forgotten Sons. Really, really entertaining match to open up the show.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Four Corners tag matches because I think it's too hard to keep remembering who's legal man. But that's nitpicking. I know there's be loads of just fun and spots and
I will just talk about the big thing. So John Morrison hit Starship Pain on Big E, and it does look like they're going to win. And then it was broken up by Dorado and Metalik. Quite a good false finish. And then you had Jackson Ryker on the outside just being a nuisance. The referee eventually ejected him.
Yeah, were you thinking what I was thinking?
I don't know.
If Jackson Ryker refused to leave, what would happen? There's no DQs.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
So after this, Big E caught Metalik springboard attempt and hit the big ending. Which, if I just go back to our predictions, I've lost the prediction, but I'm pretty confident we both win the New Day.
Yeah, I was quite confident in this. It was
New Day. Also, me and Simon, normally we talk to each about Money in the Bank before, but we haven't had a chance. We hadn't even talked to our predictions. Why did you go for the New Day?
Why? because Miz and Morrison won them 5 weeks ago. Big E won it like a week later, 2 weeks later. Like it'd just be too much, hot shotting back and forth.
That was my reason exactly.
Forgotten Sons. I think this is as close as as close as they will ever get to winning them.
After this match, we did have one of the best matches on the card, which was R-Truth was supposed to face MVP, but like after R-Truth and MVP got into a bit of beef, they basically MVP didn't wrestle. And Bobby Lashley came out. Sorry, I just had a brain moment there. Wait, it's still happening. Right, R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley came out. The strangest match to have on a Money in the Bank card, but sure, R-Truth slapped Lashley, which was great.
Accidental slap.
Accidentally. Lashley does pick up the win. Okay, correct result. Yeah. It was after, which I really like. So the backstage promo of R-Truth when he's speaking to, I think, Charlie, and he goes, he sounds like quite super, like there's been something missing. Then he turns up, he's like, I'm going to find my 24/7 7-Eleven championship. I'm coming for you, Tom Brady. And it did make me chuckle.
Did it? Oh, yeah. They've run this joke so far into the ground.
But it's when he just gets the person wrong, it's always fun.
I get it. R-Truth is funny, but I don't know.
It also makes sense. They're both Gronk's going to the Bucks. If you know a bit of NFL, it makes more sense.
I know nothing about NFL.
Exactly. So basically, Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady played together at the Patriots. Brady's just gone to the Gronk retired. Brady's just moved to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now Gronk's coming out of retirement to go play at the Buccaneers. It's looking like, so that's why. It's also looking like when NFL comes back, R-Truth is going to try pin Gronk at a match.
So long as they don't show professional wrestling up in the mainstream.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because it's going to be all the sports guys, I can well imagine.
Oh.
Saying, look how stupid this is. And I'm like, yeah, it is pretty stupid.
It is stupid, but it's fun.
You
just want a bit of fun.
It depends.
We'll move on now, though, to Bayley defeating Tamina. Yes.
It was Tamina's best ever match.
It was. It was the first pay-per-view match in 10 years. Singles match pay-per-view. Yeah. You have Bayley. I had Tamina because I genuinely thought they were going to do a swerve.
I don't know why you would have ever gone to Tamina.
Because Bayley Sasha doesn't need
it's Tamina.
Exactly. The Tamina train rolls on. She can't be stopped.
She stops at every pay-per-view.
But she can be stopped because Bayley won. Correct result. No, you
can't stop. Yeah, it was it happened.
Then we had Braun Strowman defeating Bray Wyatt. Now I'm going to say Bray Wyatt. So there was quite a bit of mind games in this. They removed the live feature as soon as the match started, which obviously we knew some shenanigans were going on. And if I'm right, the shenanigans were that Braun Strowman ended up having the mask on him and he started hugging Wyatt after the puppets started talking to him. But then he sort of just snapped out with it immediately.
I didn't like this.
I didn't as well, because I don't think he should have just been able to go, oh, that trance don't work anymore. Trance.
It was the whole thing about, like, Braun Strowman has been made to give off the impression that he's big guy, tough guy, can beat anyone, but he's not the most intellectual. Do you know what I mean? He's not the smartest. So for Bray Wyatt to get fooled by Strowman by thinking Strowman's playing his mind games, and then for Strowman to just go, lol jokes,
lol,
here's a power slam.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. I didn't. Yeah, and then when Strowman kicked out of her sister Abigail, and they painted it like they were like, "Oh, I can't believe he's just kicked out of her sister Abigail." It's like, this is the man who kicked out of 3 Goldberg spears. Like, come on.
I mean, it's the correct result because the Wyatt shouldn't have the belt, but after we saw the Fiend, he's gonna looking like he's going to challenge him now.
Yeah, surely they're not going to bring the Fiend out for Backlash.
Maybe he's a big fan of Backlash. For me now, just give him the belt and don't let him drop it for a while. Again, same with Drew.
What, the Fiend or just Bray Wyatt?
Because the Fiend can't. If it's not the Fiend can't eat a loss.
I really hope we get the Fiend versus Otis.
Oh no!
I really hope we do.
I mean, that was a match. We'll come on to the Money in the Bank after one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah, this was I really enjoyed this.
The best match of the night. Sorry, Drew McIntyre beating Seth Rollins in just it was an athletic match. It was a very back and forth, but it never felt like either of the men was gonna lose. Like there was points where I'm like, Seth's gonna win here. Like just like the quick movements, the curb stomps, and Drew kicking out, and it just barely just at 2. Like it had me hooked.
Seth looked really good coming out of it. Both men got everything that they needed to win.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the finish. Just they were sort of going back and forth for the entirety of the match, and then it was I think Glasgow Kiss headbutt. Seth hits
which
a super kick.
Amazing.
Super kick sends McIntyre against the ropes, and then the sound and the power he gets on that Claymore from no run up.
It's a great.
It's a really good move.
Pin Seth. Then after the match, he stands over him and he just puts his hand out, and they shake hands. And people saw this as a babyface turn. I didn't. I just saw it as these two just had amazing like back and forth, and he sort of Drew showing respect.
Yeah, it was begrudging respect. I don't know whether I like the whole Drew thing. Like respects everyone before promos. He says Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
I like it.
I mean, that's a good line. But my favorite promo line of the week came on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's got nothing to do with Drew.
Oh, is it the ending of the Orton Edge segment?
No, but that's up there. I forgot about that. That one I was thinking of. Oh, I've got so much to say. Right,
yeah,
we'll come on a bit later.
We'll go move on to the bad match. So what I'll do is I'll review the women's one first, and then we'll review the men's. So women's, first of all, the entrances were weird. They all came out to music, but they all just stood together, which I didn't like. Also, they all have to start in the same area, but they all just stood in a line, which it didn't make sense. But Asuka's music ran. She was nowhere to be. They did all the other entrances. The men's kicked off. They had a bit of beef. Cut back to the women's. Like, well, where's Asuka? She's on top of the thing. She jumps off like the balcony onto the rest of the people, runs into the lift, gets in it, and then it just cuts to the elevator footage of her just dancing by herself.
I'll let you run through this because there's so much. And
so she's in the ring. The other women now decide to run up the steps. Asuka's still in this. She's in the lift for a long time. For all, not all the other women. I think it was Lacey. No, Dana, Carmella, Nia, and Shayna. We're all in sort of the Money in Bank themed conference room. Dana, they're all knocked out. Dana gets the briefcase, and then music starts playing, and she's really emotional. Then it goes to Stephanie McMahon, who, first of all, definitely not at the building because the footage was very grainy. The echo was very loud. It was basically Steph going.
It was really badly shot.
It was really badly shot, quite badly acted. This isn't the match. You got to get to the roof. And I thought what it was she got the briefcase and she'd won money. I thought she would get it so happy that she won money, and now she was going to go for the belt. And then turns out.
No. The insinuation was always that she'd won the match.
The insinuation is that Dana Brooke doesn't understand Money in the Bank. In the terms of they promoted it that they've got to get to the roof, and we know what the briefcase looks like.
I mean, let's not forget that Dana Brooke got eliminated from this match by slipping on wet floor.
That was funny. So Dana's celebrating, and then Steph comes on, tells her. Carmella picks up her image of her winning the Money in the Bank, hits on Dana's head. Dana's got it stuck on her thingies.
That was funny.
Carmella leaves, Lacey Evans just swacks with the women's right, and that's all where we leave the women for a bit. Then we go back to the men's, and we come back to the women's. They are in sort of a food court area where Paul Heyman's just enjoying a buffet to himself. All the women and the men collide, sort of look at each other. Dana Brooke is there, but she's walking around in the background because she can't see because she's got the painting around her head. I don't know if you saw that, but stupid thing.
I didn't like the food fight bit. The only bit that made me laugh was just Otis just eating ham.
It was Otis. Otis. We'll talk about the men's, but Otis was amazing in this match because even when he wasn't involved, it was him talking in the background. So Shayna had Ray in a curvy clutch, and you just hear Otis in the background going, "Sandwich." I made a sandwich, and that you see pieces of bread flying over, and then Shayna is holding Ray. She drops him as Nia and Otis come and collide onto Ray. Otis just makes some noises at Nia. He starts eating a sandwich, and they separate.
So funny. He's so good.
I don't think it means
really happy
it works. All the women run off. You see a sign that says blue stairs, and then you get to the top of the thing, and there are only 3 wrestlers that are actually on top of the ring. So first of all, what happened to Shayna? Nothing actually. If you think about, nothing happened to her.
Yeah, what did happen?
All that's implied is Lacey Evans killed her on the steps.
Yeah.
Dana slipped on. Oh, sorry. They're also running through like a canteen area. There was mop floor. Dana comes running, slips, cracks her head. She's dead.
Classic.
Carmella, she got powerbombed through the table. She got writ off. Okay, so you was left with Asuka, Evans, and Jax all on top of the thing. Big beef. Asuka's climbing up the thing. Corbin climbs up the other side. Corbin tries to get the women's briefcase. Asuka slaps Corbin, kicks him. Corbin falls. Asuka picks up the women's briefcase. Does just a Japanese chanting, basically. And Asuka is the champion. I really enjoyed the women's segment of this match.
And then a tired and bored Michael Cole comes over the commentary and says, Asuka has won the briefcase, or something like that. No, with no emotion in his voice.
Like the ring announcer went, Asuka is the money man. They go, and we'll just have a quick, and I goes, and we have a quick review of Asuka's road to victory, and it just shows highlights of the match. It's like,
it was glad you're happy about it, really threw me off.
But for me, I went for Asuka. So that
I should have gone for Asuka.
So that I think that made us equal in prediction as well. I think we did finish 4-all there because we both got the men's wrong. But yeah, correct result for me. All makes sense on Raw though. I think we'll leave that. But we'll go on to the men's now. If you can remember the men's.
I can remember quite a lot of the men's. So they start in the gym.
Amazing already.
It's just the practicality of like Alistair Black, a big spooky man, just walking through a corporate building in nothing but his trunks and boots.
Who came out first?
Like
it was someone. AJ came out first or someone, and it was quite an odd moment. And then Otis comes round, just waffling.
Yeah, but Baron Corbin showed up in full King attire, which is hilarious. And then Otis just comes in. Oh, it's so like it's so silly.
I think it's when Ray's doing his entrance, and it's Otis there just mumbling to himself. But I don't even know what he was saying. He was going, and then Brian comes in.
And then Brian comes in and goes,
cracks.
Brian walks in, looks like he's going to burst out laughing, and goes like, "All right, lads, are you ready for a fight or something?" But he said it was so casually.
Oh, that's how he is. That's the city New Year.
And then
basically what it was.
Yeah, and then they get underway. They fight in the gym. Baron Corbin tries to throw like a weight plate at Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan moves. Corbin smashes a mirror. 7 years bad luck.
That's what it meant. I just thought that he'd have to pay for it, and he'd pissed off Vince. I completely forgot this bad luck.
And that's like it should have been Baron Corbin fumbled the briefcase at the end instead of Styles, and that's the beginning of his bad luck. That's not my idea. I've taken that from I think Stephen Larson.
Fair, but that would have been better.
It really made sense when they said it.
Mm-hmm. Otis trapped Styles in the weights.
It was Mysterio, wasn't it?
No, Otis lifted the weights. Mysterio wasn't lifting that weight. No offense to he trapped Styles. Styles is there screaming in his southern boy voice, and then he goes to Ray, help me, and Ray just laughs at him and walks off.
Help Ray. I can't do a southern voice.
I can't do accents, so we fucked there.
Brother Love showed up.
Yep. Well, I'm pissed.
Then they fought in a toy ring. Not a toy ring, but like a fake. I don't even know.
It was a fake ring that is actually there at the headquarters.
Yeah.
And they did the typical spots.
Brian got Corbin caught up. Did the yes kicks, and Otis is in the corner doing it along with him. And then Otis starts getting beat up as well, and then Doink the Clown shows up because
he does.
Of course, he does.
It was obviously weren't Doink the Clown. I thought it was Frank the Clown.
Right,
but
can I take the lead for most of this? Because I feel like I remember it quite well. I've got quite a bit to say. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up just rambling. AJ Styles sees a picture of the Undertaker, and has immediately got PTSD from the Boneyard match. Still the best match I've seen in years. And he tries all the doors, loads of doors, but he's evidently spooked. And then he finds one that's open, and it's like the Undertaker's private steam room. There's a coffin in there, loads of blue lighting, loads of smoke. And then I think Alistair Black comes along, locks Styles in that room, and then we think, that's the last we've seen of AJ Styles. No, evidently he finds his way out.
He doesn't lock him in the room. He just closes the door.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Surely you could just open it, but.
And then, then we got to the catering bit. Otis squared off with Nia Jax whilst just
screaming
eating
sandwich.
Ham. Yeah. And then he just ate loads of nuts.
Went got the pie as well and threw it on John Laurinaitis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that bit because as soon as I really like that, as soon as someone shows up, the music starts playing.
It was and the music was
Laurinaitis on the mobility. As soon as I saw him, I don't know why, because I really didn't like John Laurinaitis when I was watching. But I've grown to sort of like him as he's been off TV.
And as soon as Total Bellas.
I did actually watch a bit of it. And then as soon as he raised his finger, I'd said it along with him. I went, people power. That just cracked me up.
And then it got back to the face.
Because it's like everyone in WWE is they're a robot and they can only say the signature phrase. Do you know what I mean?
They're an AI in a video game.
Yeah, any normal person had asked John Laurinaitis had been like, "What are you doing, Otis?" But because he's John Laurinaitis, he just people power. Just
it's like when you're playing a video game, like Skyrim. You run through a town or something, and you'll speak to an AI, and you'll choose him to say that, and then you'll walk past him and you'll just keep on repeating the same thing as you walk past. And I feel
that's basically it. Yeah.
Like Brother Love's just on a string being pulled back and forth out of the toilet.
Yeah. And then Styles and Daniel Bryan got together, and then they went into Vince's office. And Vince is like, "What are you doing here?" And then they apologise to the boss like they're in the headmaster's office.
It's when they started leaving, and then Vince and he comes back and sorts everything out.
They're leaving, and AJ Styles says, "Oh, I think we should put the chairs straight." And then they leave, thank him. Styles accuses Bryan of cowardice. Bryan says, "You were the one who said to put the chairs back." Styles clocks him. Fight gets back underway. And then we get onto the roof. And oh my, right. So I can't remember too much of this until the point when King Corbin and Rey Mysterio.
Well, I said the bit that led up to this was you had the women's thing and you had Corbin being knocked off, and then as soon as Asuka wins, Mysterio and Black come out of nowhere.
Yeah, so Corbin gets the better of Mysterio, hurls him off the building. There's no comical scream. There's no sound of him hitting the ground.
He's just been murdered.
The camera doesn't cut to him. As soon as he takes that flip bump over the top, and let's face it, he doesn't try and fight it. He just takes the biggest flip bump imaginable.
It was Alistair Black, which was the best for me because you could just see him absolutely yeet himself.
And we go, all right, okay, then Rey Mysterio's dead. Cool. Alistair Black comes along. Alistair Black takes an even bigger flip bump, right, Alistair Black's dead instead. Well, that's them not winning the match. I sure do hope we don't see either of those on Raw. Wink, wink. I mean, now Baron Corbin should be being investigated for double murder, basically.
Yeah, and even if obviously after Raw, he should still go down for attempted murder.
Yeah, but of course that never gets brought up. And then the remaining men sort of fight for the ladder.
What happened to Brian? Sorry, Brian was nowhere to be seen after.
Oh, was he not?
No, I'm guessing
Yeah, right.
Styles
So,
took him out more.
Corbin, Styles. Yeah, it's Corbin and Styles.
Yeah.
So Corbin and Styles are fighting over the briefcase like Kofi and Uso were at WrestleMania with the titles.
Wait, no. Oh yeah, sorry.
And they both pull it down at the same time, and then they're sort of trying to snatch it away from each other. Elias comes out for his retribution, hits Corbin over the back with the guitar. So obviously Corbin lets go of the briefcase. It's AJ Styles. AJ Styles, who's wearing gloves, suddenly just gets a case of butt fingers, drops the briefcase. There's Otis just standing at the bottom for some reason. Of course, Otis catches it and just goes, and then the bell rings. And it's insane.
It was the only thing that did make sense of guitar, fine. AJ slipping it is shocked by the guitar smash. It was more this. Otis catches it, he stands there, makes a frog sound, but then and Otis wins.
Yeah, I could realistically, I could pick you could pick so many faults with this. Technically Styles pulled it down, and who says you have to be in control? I'm not bothered. It was great. Otis can cash in on Braun Strowman at any time, and that is a glorious thought.
I can't wait until Friday.
He said himself that he's cashing on tag titles. So let's face it, Otis and Tucker aren't going to be.
Yeah, so this was an interview a year ago with, I can't remember who it was, when he went, "If I ever win the Money in Bank, I'll cash in with Tucker." I don't think he'll be successful cashing. I either think he's either going to fail to cash in or he gives it to Mandy.
Now you see, they said this on ongoing in Raw. They were power ranking ways that Otis loses the briefcase, and one of them was just like Otis becomes a simp and gives it to Mandy or something in return for a touch of Mandy or something. It was really stupid.
I'd love it.
If I'm right, I don't think he cashes in on tag titles because I think Tucker now lower card.
I feel sorry for Tucker.
I just think. I do and I don't. It was obvious this was going to happen. I think Otis just straight up cashes in and wins.
Really?
Otis can transcend mainstream. I'm telling you. People will look at Otis and think, he's got my attention. The noises, the blue collar solid, his look, his promo.
It could work.
He's so WWE. Yeah.
I'd only want it if maybe the Fiend attacks at Backlash. Fiend attacks Strowman, decimates him, doesn't win, he just leaves, and then Otis comes out. You hear the big honking, boom, pins, hits the caterpillar, and then
the only problem is you couldn't have him cash in on Braun or Bray. No way.
I think you could have him cash on Braun, only if the Fiend is absolutely decimated Braun.
Right.
That's the only way you could have. Fiend never pins him. The Fiend just leaves.
If Otis is going to become a megastar and a top player, he needs a new finisher.
No,
the caterpillar. It's a cool move, and It should
signature.
It's not a finisher.
It isn't, but I just want it to be because
it doesn't even look like it looks like it does more damage to him than his opponent.
Yeah, but it's Otis, isn't it?
Well, it's Otis, so I guess he can get away with it. But I don't know.
Opinions on Money in the Bank, though.
All of the stuff early on was fine and inoffensive. like Bray versus Braun kind of flopped.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, I mean, the
Really
fact like the
enjoyable.
Money in the Bank stuff was spot on.
Mhm.
4 out of 5.
I really hope we get a cinematic style match at every pay per view while we're in this era of lockdown and
Yeah,
coronavirus,
I don't think we will for Backlash.
which is a shame because they elevate the shows at points.
They do, but I don't know. Like you just don't have too much of a good thing.
No.
And Extreme Rules, I don't think they will because you can do Extreme Rules just in the arena. I think it's
True.
going to be SummerSlam when we get the next one.
Yeah. It was entertaining though. But we'll
I need a quick break again, so I'll let you talk about the monumental news.
Yeah, so we'll go on to Monday Night Raw. So before the show started, there was all the major wrestling news outlets reporting that Becky's got an announcement to make, but they never revealed it, which I really like. They never spoiled it. So the show opens up. Becky Lynch comes out, typical entrance, but she seems very emotional. Basically, she said ever since when I was this young Irish girl, I came over, didn't know anyone. Hope people like my puns and my crappy jokes. You did, and then she starts to get really emotional and sort of gets cut off. Asuka comes out, being typical Asuka. But to note, Becky did have the briefcase for some reason. She came out with the briefcase, she put it on the table. Asuka came out annoyed that she didn't have the briefcase. Starts talking in Japanese, and then Becky basically goes, "That you don't realize, but that match of the Money in the Bank, you've realized that your briefcase is being locked. You couldn't go inside it. That's because the match of Money in the Bank wasn't for opportunity." And then she undoes the lock, opens it up, falls off, and it's the titles. It was for the belt. Asuka's your new Raw Women's Champion. Eventually, we were all like, "All right, okay, fair enough. She'll
Right.
be going for injured or focusing on her."
I didn't understand this. Right. Sorry. Just is the Money in the Bank briefcase? Does that count as a cash in?
Yeah. No, because it was the match was for the briefcase, but the briefcase had the belt in it. So instead of having to try cash in, she just immediately gets the belt. For me, it makes sense.
So the women's Money in the Bank briefcase is now inactive until next
Yeah.
year. That's not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So Asuka runs around, starts celebrating in Japanese, and Becky's getting more and more emotional. She basically, it was very obvious that she was going to leave, but it was either injury or pregnancy, and she basically goes, "Well, you go be a warrior because I'm going to go be a mother." And Asuka stopped celebrating, and it was for me. I don't think she told Asuka because Asuka goes, "Wait, really?" And then she starts smiling.
I think you could predict it.
Oh, you could predict the pregnancy, but I don't think she actually told Asuka. I think she
Yeah,
left it as a surprise because Asuka's reaction seemed so genuine. And then she started hugging her. Becky just started bawling out, saying, "Thank you." She started leaving. I'll see you soon.
I'll tell you what, right? People care.
People do. I care.
It's number 2 trending on YouTube already.
It was only an hour and a half into the show and it had 300,000 views. It's got
1.4 mil already. So
yeah, I think we seem to forget because Becky's, as much as in the past couple of months she's fallen off, we seem to forget that Becky carried that WWE for a solid year. She main evented I'm pretty confident she hasn't had a big break away from WWE since she debuted in terms of main roster.
she's not really had a proper injury, has she?
No,
And she works a lot.
Yeah, and I think she's going to be a really big miss. Like, if you look back at Becky's sort of main roster, she was the main woman on SmackDown
she was the women's division. Like this is a major gap in the division because they've just not built anyone.
If you look at sort of her career, she was the main woman on SmackDown when they did the brand split. Before Alexa Bliss built herself up for the title, she was signed as this big marquee signing, even though she wasn't the man. Then she fell off a bit. Then the whole Survivor Series thing happened. She built momentum. She was the first ever women's main event WrestleMania winner. she's going to be a huge loss. Obviously, congratulations to her and Seth. It's definitely Seth because they did put out a tweet saying congratulations, Becky and Seth. But I was hoping they'd do an angle with it for a little bit.
Who steps up now though? Is it Bianca Belair? Is it Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan, Natalya, Ruby Riott?
No, please not Natalya.
Iconics.
Please not. I think Asuka's the champion, isn't she?
Yeah. I could
I
see
don't
it being Liv Morgan.
I think it's either Liv because Liv's been put over by Charlotte has gone out and saying I want Liv to be the next thing.
Liv's on a bit of a roll.
Or Kairi for me. I think Asuka Kairi is a great first feud for them both. Put Kairi babyface because she's better. Keep Asuka this tweener.
I hope Bianca does a bit more than just be Street Profits manager.
I think she will. I'm hoping she will anyway. Just other bits from the Becky stuff. Throughout the night, Shayna were cutting promos. She was on fire.
Yeah, she was.
How dare you?
My favourite line of the night came from Natalya when she went up to. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
I think so. Yeah, but go on.
She went up to Shayna Baszler and went. Do you realise how disrespectful it is for you to say bad things about the miracle of motherhood?
Yeah, and then Shayna just goes.
It was the most stilted line.
And then she just goes, "The Hart family dies with you."
Yeah,
she was on top form. The lines they wrote for her were great.
I mean, Natalya must have she must realise how bad that dialogue is.
Do you think Natalya realises how bad she is?
She isn't bad. Natalya is a good wrestler. She's not a strong promo.
She's not, but I don't. There's something about Natalya where she seems like the nicest person, but in terms of a wrestling character, I just can't understand it.
No, nobody in that company could make that line sound good. The miracle of motherhood. Get out of here.
But that was Becky's in.
It looks even worse. It looks even worse written down. The exact words were, "How do you realise how bad it makes you look to disrespect the miracle that is motherhood?"
All right. Why didn't Natalya say it? The one who doesn't have children, she's got cats. Is there a wrestler? I'd rather have Maria Kanelli. She's not even with the company.
She's not with the company.
I would have rather got Brie Bella back just to say that line.
No, I think it's made funny by the fact it's Natalya. Just because it's Natalya. I don't know. I don't know why I'm
trying to think if there's any wrestlers who are actually in the company who've got a kid that's a women's wrestler.
Not on Raw, I don't think.
Lacey. Bring Lacey over.
Lacey.
Bring Lacey over to Raw just for that night. Just to say you don't understand them. Because Natalya has got cats. So for me, I feel like if we're talking in character, Natalya wasn't talking about the miracle and motherhood of a real life human. She was talking about cats.
It was a close run thing between that and Charlie Caruso's for line of the night, but that one was not fit for me.
I don't know what
Charlie Caruso's.
If that was scripted, Jesus Christ! If that wasn't scripted.
Come on, leave it for later.
We'll leave it. We'll skip away from the Becky stuff. We actually had our first match, which was Bobby Lashley defeating Humberto Carrillo in a no DQ match. Well done, Bobby.
I really like Humberto.
What it looks like now is that Lashley is separated from Lana, and we'll talk about it later on the night. But he's joining MVP.
Whoa. Wait, what? No, Lashley. Wait, no, Lana was here.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it later on. But,
right. Okay. Humberto. But yeah, Lashley won with the Master's Lock.
The Master Lock. It's called. They've called it to a fearsome full Nelson. So that. They're going to call it the Lashley Lock. We know. I
was a big fan of MVP describing it as one of the best things he's seen in years.
Mm-hmm.
Full Nelson, classic.
Just classic move. After this, we did have Angel Garza defeating Akira Tozawa. Now, great match. When Garza pins Tozawa, he's staring at Austin Theory. So it seems like there's obviously tension between Garza and Theory. Do you think they're splitting them up?
Yes. Where like this wasn't subtle. This was blatant.
It was very not subtle.
We don't know where this infighting has come from, but there is infighting.
Is it Gaza being jealous? Possibly, is that what they're going for?
Maybe. I mean, I know it doesn't matter really, but maybe doping Tozawa, who's 2-0 in the cruiserweight tournament.
It's like they don't pay attention to NXT.
If you're going to tell it's the brand, act like it's the third brand.
Yeah, but they don't. That's why Tozawa. That's why Tozawa should never be in these squash matches, just because of how well he's doing on NXT.
Yeah, I much prefer Garza to Tozawa, but I can acknowledge that if Tozawa's 2-0, this doesn't. It just makes NXT look a bit.
Just let him wrestle Denzel Dejanay again.
I mean, if Tozawa gets beat kind of this easily by Garza, like how would Tony Nese or Jack Gallagher fare?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you got to make your other wrestlers look weak at the expense of Angel Garza. But after the match, there was beef. Selena Vega were trying to sort of calm it. Drew McIntyre comes out and Claymore kicks Theory and Garza, and Andrade steps up. We had a champion versus champion match. McIntyre does eventually win that, and after the match, it's just McIntyre go, "Well, I came and helped you. I stopped your infighting. I don't know what you're talking like." Correct me as result as well, but both of the champions look strong.
Have we covered the one where? Oh no, that was in the previous bit. Sorry, where Drew comes out, Claymore's Austin Theory, and then Andrade. Have you seen it?
No, I can't remember what you're talking about.
All right, okay. So Drew, after Austin Theory, after Angel Garza wins, Drew comes out, and like Austin Theory runs at him. Drew hits him with one of the cleanest claymores, and Andrade and Angel Garza start like hysterically laughing, like at the fact that Austin Theory's been claymore. They find it hilarious. And then Angel Garza gets claymores and takes one of the best bumps I have seen. Like he goes over the rope, but he absolutely bounces over the ropes, and he nearly ends up in the third row.
It's just Angel Garza.
And then it was McIntyre beating Andrade, which was pretty good.
I've just realised, it's a great result. As I said, before we move on, I realised that in the title I've named it Money in the Bank. I've just seen a comment from Newso that just says, "Can Baron Corbin actually fuck off?"
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, Baron Corbin's facing Drew next week. Grand split, lol. Why is this happening?
Can Baron Corbin actually fuck off?
Baron's fine.
But
the Baron should not be the man to randomly break the brand split. Like, why does this need to be
Nakamura, Cesaro?
No, just none of them. Like, brands of... No, you can't have it be Nakamura or Cesaro. They wanted to do...
No, but they wanted to do it for... But Corbin isn't. They're doing it... They want to do it to get views up. But surely why is Corbin really your best choice?
Nakamura and Cesaro were nowhere near being in that Money in the Bank. King Corbin's King of the Ring. He's... I think he's a decent... He shouldn't be in that position.
I like Corbin, actually.
But yeah, is there no one else on Raw?
No, the reason they're doing it is for views. It was announced that tons of them sat in Sean Ross sat. Yeah, Digital Spy. Basically, because the Raw views thing are inducing this brand versus brand match. So we'll probably see Raw and SmackDown and Raw guy go over for the week after. It's just to boost views. It's just to boost views, that's all. But before we move on to sort of the next segment, I did name the thing Becky's announced Money in the Bank and Vince. Now, did you hear the story about Vince McMahon? And Rob Gronkowski?
No.
So basically, you remember WrestleMania? Gronk was getting ready for these 24/7 title shenanigans and stuff. And you know he was going to fall off the thing. Well, apparently Gronk was quite worried about doing all this. Obviously, don't have any wrestling experience. So to show Gronk that it was all okay, Vince McMahon did the spot.
No.
Yes.
Where is this
spot where they fell off the thing, Vince McMahon did it. So imagine if you was the wrestlers and you were told, right, we're just going to do a quick run through, and you see Vince McMahon up there. You're thinking,
Oh, yeah,
fucking hell,
I'm reading it now.
I'm not
Oh,
dropping my
my.
boss. Yeah, Sean Sapp put up on his Patreon, but then he released it a day later that Gronk was worried. So Vince McMahon did the spot to prove that it was all right, and then Gronk apparently was fine to do it after that. But just imagine that you're gearing up like, yeah, Gronk's gonna fall. We're just gonna do a quick run through with someone. Yeah, sure. And you just see Vince walking up and preparing to do it. You're thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna drop my boss. Like,
Yeah,
just proved how much of a
no, I
nutter he
get
is.
that. I was just reading it. That's quite funny.
Yeah.
Have we covered Jinder Mahal's promo?
No.
Has that already happened? Because after Drew matches of Corbin next week, I think we're going to get Drew versus Jinder at Backlash.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, that's so circular because Jinder won the WWE title at Backlash.
Exactly. Imagine if he beats him.
Storytelling.
Imagine if he beats him. Because we can say, I know Jinder's not going to think.
I'd laugh.
Won the belt.
I'd genuinely find it funny. I wouldn't have any issues with it. I'd have
an issue. But it would be funny. Drew should be the champ. It'd be funny.
The Summer of Jinder returns. I'd be up for it.
Imagine. I don't think it definitely shouldn't happen, but it would be funny if it did.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It definitely shouldn't.
But we did have a moment of bliss after this, and Bliss starts cutting a promo, and then all of a sudden you just hear the Iconics theme. They're back. The best women's wrestlers on the roster. I don't care what anyone's.
I completely agree.
Most entertaining. They immediately, as soon as they come out, Billy Kay, you've got to be joking me. I'm not going to do the accent because it's highly offensive.
I'd completely forgotten how entertaining the Iconics were. I knew I liked them, but to hear that music, they're so funny.
They're entertaining, but they're also good at wrestling. Yep. And basically, the challenger Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to a match wasn't for the title, but they did win. Which got them a title opportunity, basically. How wrestling works.
I don't know why they were off TV for about 7 months in the first place, but
cool,
they're back.
And they're funny, they're entertaining, and they're what that women's tag team division needs, a boost.
Bliss and Cross have got nothing going.
No. Nikki needs to go back to, instead of being a bit kookish, she needs to go back to being crazy.
Yeah, but
the character doesn't really work.
It doesn't, but then she can't just be crazy, if you know what I mean. Like, she literally went from crazy to normal within the space of 1 week, and at that moment, they lost me with Nikki Cross.
Yeah,
make it make sense.
Make it make sense. We did have a 3v3 match after this. R-Truth, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander defeated MVP, Shane Thorne, and your boy Brendan Vink.
Yes. Oh no, wait, Vink lost, didn't he? Never mind.
Yeah, so despite an assist from his alter ego, Pretty Ricky, which helped him get the win, R-Truth did not end on a good note as Bobby Lashley basically accepted MVP's offer. MVP earlier in that offered him to join him. Lana was not happy about that. Lashley accepts, steamrolls over R-Truth and helping MVP. And it goes to Lana just absolutely screaming, going mental.
So I've got a bit to say here.
Go on.
Number one, who or what is a Pretty Ricky?
Pretty Ricky is a thing he was, if I remember, maybe the early 2010s, it was a character he was doing. if that's correct.
I can't believe next thing. I can't believe we missed the podcast last week when Brendan Vink got the pinfall over Ricochet. What a moment for the ages. I just think he's great. He's just, there's nobody like him. He's so unique. Like, when they said that Vince is keen on Brendan Vink, yes, of course he is. Look at him. Right, the backstage segment with MVP, there were some golden lines. The tone was spot on, where he's going it's been 2007 since you last challenged, and it's Lashley's mental state is he's not striving for those championship opportunities.
Yeah.
And then he walked away and he goes, just marinate on that, think about it. And I'm like, yes, like this is really cool. He says to Lana, he looks at Lana and goes like, another thing that's like got Bobby Cage down. And I'm like, that is a money line. That is so good.
It's what
and
Lashley
Lana,
needs. He needs a better mouthpiece.
And Lana just ruins it all.
By doing the...
Just yelling. That's not a rational response.
It isn't.
Like,
it was like from when Alicia Fox used to go mental at No I'm Dar.
Yeah, it's just
like
making
that.
not like really.
Yeah,
it brought the whole segment down. But if it leads to a faction of Lashley, MVP, Vink and Thorne,
the most mismatched group, but yeah.
I genuinely, that's where I think they're going with this.
Oh yeah, and it could work.
I'm up for it.
Undisputed Era 2.0.
MVP dropping so many killer lines and then Lana to ruin them.
MVP's a really good asset. Not you. Okay, Siri, when I said MVP, Siri thought I was talking to
her. Yeah, just don't have him wrestle. Like, MVP took that flatliner from Truth. Like, he missed the map by a good, few centimetres.
I think MVP can be used to wrestle, but in a loss. And then that elevates the people around him, because when they win, it's sort of a bigger thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. He really took that flatliner from Truth was really bad. Like MVP, it was so far off.
Yeah. So after that, we did have a tag team match: Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio, the Dead Boys, versus Seth Rollins. So it was announced that they'd been thrown onto a second roof that was like 6 foot down.
Right.
They probably made a mistake because tried to justify how they were killed off. So it was justified.
I'm not bothered. Keep them off TV for weeks.
But we did have Black and Mysterio versus Seth and Buddy. And Seth.
He's not your buddy.
Aleister Black and Rey come out all normal, and then Seth comes out just looking amazing, but in the wrong sense, like just dishevelled. He hadn't done anything to his hair. No sleep. Obviously, it was the worst time of this because everything on Twitter was just Seth just preparing himself when he's going to wake up at 4 a.m. and stuff.
That's what I didn't get, because Becky and Seth kayfabe are a couple because they main evented Stomping Grounds last year.
Yeah.
So why would Becky be so buzzing, but with Seth they don't even reference it?
I'd like that they didn't reference it because Seth's character doesn't need it. It does make it a bit awkward, but Seth has already got reason to think he lost his opportunity.
Yeah. Well, they could reference it, but be like, even though he's got a child, even though he's about to become a father, the most important thing on Seth's mind is avenging his loss to Drew.
Yeah,
which I think could be quite funny.
Yeah, but he comes out, Murphy wrestles practically all the match where Seth just doesn't move. He just stares straight forward, doesn't move, doesn't help Murphy until eventually just snaps, attacks Rey Mysterio, starts to take off his mask, and just slams his eye, puts his eye into the edge of the steel ring post. It was horrible.
It looked really good.
It looked really good.
And then, as soon as Mysterio came back off it, you could see a little bit of just fake blood, obviously, but a little bit of red just on the ring stairs, and that really added to it.
It's the little details which sold it. So Ray goes back. They all go, cuts away to the Street Profits doing a promo about the basketball game which is happening. We'll go into that in a sec. But we'll go basically later on. Ray is being carted backstage. Aleister Black is there waiting outside. Ray's basically been talking to the medic area. Seth and Murphy is stood there, and Seth goes, "I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me." And Aleister Black goes to attack. Murphy stops in front. Black just slams Murphy's head and just starts attacking him as Seth just stands and watches.
Go on, Aleister.
I like it. I feel like when Seth does go, Murphy, depends how they book it, Murphy could suffer. But I like the thing of that he's just a minion to Seth. Seth didn't really care that Murphy was being brutalized. He went back into that trance, and it makes me want to tune into Raw every week now to see what Seth's going to be like.
Yeah, Where does he go from here? Do you think he'll have a match at Backlash?
I think he'll be in the club for another 3 or 4 months until he should definitely start not risking it as much and just go away for a bit.
I just remembered the most didn't do Backlash last year, but Backlash 2018 was one of the worst pay-per-views in recent memory, wasn't it?
What were it main evented by?
Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe.
Oh,
it was dreadful. Like it was the one where fans were leaving early.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Then.
Yeah. So I hope they can pull it out with a bag this year.
Yeah. But we'll go on. The Street Profits defeated the Viking Raiders in a basketball match. So
yes.
So it starts off with the Viking Raiders talking about basketball, which first of all doesn't make sense. But first of all, they missed so many pun opportunities. Viking Jordan. There was another one, but like they missed so many basketball puns. The Street Profits start scoring a lot and like getting a lot of points. The Viking Raiders missing easy opportunities, and then the Viking Raiders get 2 points, and they are acting like they've won the match, and then it cuts up to the scoreboard and it's 74.
Right. So this is really stupid, and I know it served no purpose. And why would the Street Profits invite the Viking Raiders, their arch rivals, to play basketball?
No. I think the biggest thing: why would the Viking Raiders play basketball?
Yeah, right. That's another thing.
Why would the segment end in the Viking Raiders doing a slam dunk?
It makes no sense, but I loved it. Just the Viking Raiders there going, we won, like they've got Otis levels of low intelligence. I mean, like next week, do you reckon I'm getting so much from going in Raw today, but next week they suggested that we have like axe throwing.
No, genuine. Well,
have the Profits do that.
Well, it says, however, after the buzzer, the Viking Raiders revealed that they let the Raw Tag Team Champions win for either put an incredible display of long range shooting capped over the monster slam dunk. Now, either they are stupid because clearly they can do some good basketball stuff. Why? First of all, why did they lose? Why did it happen in a basketball match? But one thing I would love to see is that the Street Profits just are so confident that every week they challenge them to a sport. So next week we get a penalty shootout. Week after we get
that's going to be like last on their list.
A 9-round of mini golf. We get a game of badminton, a game of tennis. Like just every week
so
it's
English.
Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders in a sports contest. But what it is the Street Profits school them, but after it's finished, the Viking Raiders just go and like dominate. So if it's mini golf, the Street Profits win, but then after the Viking Raiders get a hole in one on every hole or something. I just don't understand it.
You know what, right? This is absolutely not what the Viking Raiders should be doing, but I do quite like the sound of that.
Because what has it got to do with Vikings basketball? Street Profits,
why is this happening?
Like the Street Profits wear basketball gear and stuff, but the Viking Raiders have just got nothing to do with it.
It's made all the worse by the fact they did carpool karaoke, and then they cut like a really intimidating promo, and now the football like I say make it make sense, and yes, you should make it make sense, but also if it's funny, you can get away with it.
Yeah. Right, we'll move on though. Shayna Baszler defeated
Versus
Natalya.
The Miracle of Motherhood.
Versus the Miracle of Motherhood, a new name. Shayna decimated her. Yes, great, amazing. Natalya could die. That's too harsh. That's
that is very harsh. Natalya's a good wrestler. She's fine.
But have you ever been excited to watch a Natalya match?
Yes, her versus Charlotte NXT Takeover.
Okay, but we did have them. Fair play. We did have the main of. Actually, you know what? Mixed Match Challenge, because I really enjoy Mixed Match Challenge. So yeah,
I've probably been excited to watch matches she's a part of, like 5-on-5 Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I bet you, maybe not individual singles. Yeah.
After this though, we did have the main event, which was Randy Orton. So Edge comes out, but you look at the time, and there was like 7 minutes left of the show, and we used to have both entrances as a confrontation, but Edge comes out, his theme music plays, Orton comes out and just starts again. Orton, such an amazing promo guy. I'm basically saying, believing that the rated R superstar saw some ring rust. The Vibe wants to see what Edge can do with rules, without weapons, and outside of a rumble. Randy Orton wants to know if Edge has it in him in a battle, in a straight-up wrestling match, issuing a challenge for Backlash. Edge perhaps letting Orton get into his head, hesitate to give the Viper an answer, leaving the WWE Universe wondering if the next champion in the Legion of Rivalry will return. So we're getting a match at Backlash between Edge and Orton. Great. This time it's a bit of a normal match, which...
Yeah, the one-on-one. This isn't where I thought it was going. Everything Randy Orton said was really good. Like, Orton class promo, didn't lose anything in the defeat.
No.
But the highlight of this, so as Edge pondered whether to take on Randy Orton in a straight-up wrestling match, Charlie Caruso comes in and asks Edge, what do you say to that? Fair question. Edge,
great journalism,
says nothing. Charlie Caruso, great journalism. Charlie Caruso looks deadpan straight down the camera in the middle of this blood feud that is main event in an episode of Raw and says, "Well, wait, no, don't say it. I want to get."
I'm about to say, do you want to get the exact words? Because I don't have the exact words.
Verbiage.
But while you find it, I'm just going to say, without this, I mean, I don't know if this was scripted, what the hell we're thinking. If it wasn't scripted, what the hell was she thinking? But I've got a feeling it was scripted. But in terms of the Orton Edge match, I like it. It weans Edge in to have a normal match, sort of get into the typical wrestling match style, so he can sort of wrestle a bit more consistently. And obviously, Orton we've talked about it many times, Orton is the safest guy to do it. And I think it's a correct decision.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the match. It's going to be a bit boring. It might just be headlocks and stuff, but
yeah, it's not going to be like 5-star classic or whatever. But
have you found the?
It'll be storytelling. Let's face it, it's Randy Orton, so it'll probably be like methodical.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Yeah, I got it here. So deadpan, straight down the camera, middle of the blood feud. Well, gentlemen, if this match does happen, it may just be the greatest wrestling match ever.
It's got to be scripted. It's got to be scripted. No way she came up with that on the spot.
Nah, she wouldn't say that. It's just there's so much to unpick in that line. Why would she say that? Why would she say it at that exact time? Why will it be the greatest wrestling match ever? Like,
is this her first wrestling match she's ever watched? Has she never watched?
What is the greatest wrestling match ever? No, what I mean, there's so much.
Thing is,
why didn't Randy Orton just RKO?
It wasn't a thing like she says it and then someone cuts her off like, what you talk about? Of course it's going to be. It ended the show. It cut to black after.
Everyone left that segment just laughing, but I think they wanted to obviously sell Backlash early doors, and as it fades to black, people at home sitting and thinking, well, yeah, do you know what? It might actually be the greatest wrestling match ever.
We're talking about it.
I mean, we'd be talking about it. Yeah, but it was so odd. That couples with Natalia's line a 2-1 for the age.
Charlie Caruso say it?
I've got so many questions.
Why not commentary just said this could be a match for the ages or something?
Yeah,
but this has been Monday Night Raw. Bye-bye.
Yeah, if commentary said it, it'd have been weird, but it'd have been less weird.
But in terms of gimmick-wise, she's just an interviewer. What?
Yeah.
Why is she saying a piece to camera?
If neither of them are going to respond, neither of them are going to go, do you know what? No, I don't think it is going to be that good of a wrestling match. But neither of them are going to reply and go, yeah, do you know what? I think you might be right.
Stupid.
Oh, yeah. No
but that was Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Monday Night Raw.
It was actually a really good Raw, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. But that's been the Wrestling Corner episode 15.
Well, wait. I've got a little bit to add. What was I going to say? NXT UK this week was the Rise of Imperium.
Okay.
205 Live we had Dean Malenko versus Ultimo Dragon.
Good match. Never seen it, but I presume
and Oni Lorcan versus Arya Davari.
Oh, the boys.
On main event, we had Asuka versus Catalina. Yes, Asuka on event. And Humberto Carrillo. Catalina.
Who's that?
I think that is when Sin Cara had his lady doll.
Yeah.
I think it's her. And as I say, Humberto versus Shelton Benjamin.
Oh.
Best thing I watched on YouTube this week: Tino Sabatelli's shoot interview.
Is it the one that's with the Dan Mather? I haven't watched it, but
it's not a shoot interview really. It's just two people sitting down, just having a conversation. But it is absolutely fascinating to hear about sort of the position Tino was in just before he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So he main evented a house show against Aleister Black and tore the house down apparently. And then he went to bed that night, and Terry Taylor, producer, called him up the next day and went, Tino, do you want a main event tonight against Velveteen Dream? And then if everything went all right in that match, then he'd have made it on TV, and he'd have probably been in line for a pretty big push. And apparently, Dream hit him with the most basic of basic drop kicks, and Tino's pec just popped.
Oh, no.
And that was it. Tino was on his way to becoming a main eventer. And it was
creaming.
a freak injury. Yeah.
Jesus.
But when asked the big question, will Tino be continuing? Like, what's he going to be doing next? Tino's doing the indies.
Oh, is it?
And he's going to come back, and he's going to keep being Tino Sabatelli. He's going to start a YouTube channel, but he's going to work the indies. Dan Mather's going to do the same. Michael
nice.
One will be buying Tino's merch. I hope he makes it for AEW. What a man. What a man. It's Drew McIntyre's story all over again.
Is he one of the releases who's really spoken out, apart from Heath and Ryder?
What? Tino?
Yeah, because who else
I was just
got released to?
I was about to come on someone else. But yeah, so I know I said a lot of the Tino stuff is joking, but I'm like serious with it, and it's from about an hour and a half in. It's a really good watch because he's just a really sound guy. Like he's like him and Dan Mather are just really nice blokes, and they're just having a chat. And it's a good watch. Also, Sean Ross Sapp shoot interview with Leo Rush.
Leo Rush, that's who was released an album, hasn't it?
Leo, yeah. So Leo was going to win the IC title, but it got scrapped. Vince wanted Elias to smash his guitar over Lashley's ass.
Great.
I mean, got scrapped.
We still do it now.
That would have been great. When Leo was asked, is that tweet about him maybe not wrestling again, is it real? There's a good chance Leo might not wrestle again.
That's sad.
He thinks that music might be his way. I've not listened to his album yet, but his music is levels above what any other wrestler produces.
Really?
Yeah, he's like compared to Enzo Amore. Like Leo's really talented musically.
Fair play.
He's really good on his Instagram. His TikToks are good. Like he's such a creative
got social media today.
24 years old. He's not going to be short of things.
He's
if he ever wants to come back to wrestling, yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's the same age as MJF.
Yeah, if he ever wants to come back to wrestling, there's loads of indie companies that have him.
He was so young.
Leo, that's the thing. Like the whole thing about backstage heat and stuff. He's 25.
Still,
but he says regularly about how he came from such a tough upbringing, tough neighborhood, and it was the whole thing of like he's got to fight to survive.
The thing is, even with backstage heat, you've got to look at. Obviously, MJF doesn't have it, but when you're in the biggest wrestling company in the world, like you are gonna make mistakes, especially when you're so young.
Being so young, it's just the upbringing he's had. He says he doesn't think he's arrogant, he's confident in his own abilities. And like, fair enough. Like he's already married, he's already had a child. Like he's been through a lot, and I personally think a lot of people are quite harsh on Leo.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never been enamoured by him, but I do know he's a great wrestler.
But yeah, I just think a lot of people quite harsh on him. So Leo and Tino, those interviews are the ones anybody needs to watch. They're my boys. They're gonna smash it, whatever they do. Yeah, man.
But it's been this has been the Wrestle Corner episode 15. But if you found us, we are the Sports Corner YouTube channel. Got it right that time. We produce many other content. So we had the start of your week where we uplift you on Tuesdays with the Wrestling Corner. On Wednesdays we have the Granddaddy, the Top Corner. This week I'm guessing we'll be previewing the Bundesliga, which is making its return. On Thursday we have the NFL Corner. They'll be, I'm guessing, doing another divisional review. Apparently the whole career mode may be making a return. We're waiting for that still. But if you enjoy video games, if you enjoy FIFA, Josh streams every single day apart from Wednesday, currently playing FIFA. He's been doing many TOTS pack openings, opening so many, saved so many. So please go give him a view. That's twitch.tv/the Top Corner, I think. It'll be in the description if not. But thank you, Simon, for joining me today.
Yes, thank you for allowing me into the broadcast studio.
That has been Money in the Bank review. We've been the Wrestling Corner. Ta-ta. Goodbye.